Happy January. I know it's been a hot minute, probably about a month actually since I last posted anything, and to be honest, it's been probably close to 2 weeks since I picked up this camera, so I'm sorry about that. I hope everyone out there is having a good start to the year so far. God's know we all need it. So I just thought that this vlog could be, it could be a number of things actually. Sunday reset, let's chat, getting my life together video. I've got a lot of things that I'm actually kind of working on and focusing on and everything else. But you would have seen in the beginning part of this video me doing some cleaning and everything else. Desperately needed to get done. Where have I been? Where have I been? So I actually did have quite a bit filmed for the rest of Vlogmas. I know I only posted one vlog. And that's all because I just didn't have time to sit down and edit everything. And then when I did have time to sit down and edit, it was backlogged by so many weeks of stuff that I'm like, it's this mountain of work where you stare at it and you don't know where to start and you don't know how to tackle it. That was my phone, sorry. And so you just leave it alone and you don't do anything. So I have quite a bit that I actually did film. I celebrated my birthday, turned 33, had a great Christmas, both with my in-laws and with my mother, cooked a lot and everything. New Year's was really nice, really peaceful. Went out with my husband for a very nice dinner, got to dress up, and I haven't dressed up in a very long time, not like that, so that was great. And then I've just been working since then. So that's where I've been. So the question is, what's next? So that's where we have like this let's chat, combined with getting my life together situation. So I wouldn't really call these resolutions. I know we're already 2 weeks into January, so a little late for those, but more like goals and things that I've been thinking on. I actually did film part of what I want this video to be on New Year's. But as I was filming it and looking back at the footage, I didn't like how it turned out. So this is my shot number 2 at this. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to focus on for 2022. 2021 for me was a year of, for lack of a better term, finding myself. I had a lot of things happen. I would say it's perhaps the biggest roller coaster I have ever been on in my entire life. Physically, emotionally, everything. I had the biggest ups and I had the biggest lows that I've ever had. And so 2021 was all about, honestly, just surviving and getting through it and finding myself and learning a lot of lessons that I needed to learn. It's one of those things where when you put out into the universe, and this is the one time I'm gonna get very kind of witchy and whatnot. When you put out into the universe at the beginning of a year, which is what I did last year, that I want to bring change into my life, be very careful how you phrase it and be very careful what you wish for. Everyone's like, oh, it's the journey and everything else before you get to the destination. No, the destination rocks. The journey sucks. Let's not get it twisted. Facing a lot of personal demons and everything else is not fun. I know it's necessary for growth, but it is by no means a very pleasant journey. So if you're on that journey, best wishes to you. My heart is out to you. I know it's tough. You will get through it. You will get through it. I went through hell for quite a while before I finally found my place. So just know that I am rooting for you, okay? I am rooting for you. So that made me think of what I want to focus on for this year, after learning some pretty heavy lessons from last year. So I came up with 4 things. 4 things. So number 1, the most important one, in my personal opinion, at least for me to focus on, and the one that I need to constantly remind myself of, is I intend on doing more on what makes me happy instead of focusing on what everyone else needs. Now, this doesn't mean I'm just going to be like selfish and everything else. I am a people pleaser at my core. As good as that can be and as painful as that can be. So I want to focus more on, I've always focused more on what I can do for somebody else and how I can help somebody else. And much to my detriment, actually, instead of focus on my own personal well-being. I am a yes person. And I'm a person who will bend over backwards to help anybody and anything. Now, I still intend on doing what I can to help others, while at the same time knowing what my personal limits are and not going beyond that boundary. Because there are times I would fly past that boundary by miles to the point where I have nothing left in me. And that's not good. So I'm going to do more what makes me happy. I'm going to do what brings joy and peace in my heart. So that's number 1. So that kind of means more of kind of like self-care and things like that for me. Setting aside little things that I want to do. Like if I want to buy something small for me or buy something nice for myself, I'm going to do it. If I want to go on a walk or do something like that, I'm going to do it. Like do whatever it is. And I highly recommend that you also do whatever makes you happy. Because life's too short, folks. Life's too short. And sometimes you just gotta do what's best for you. You do you, right? You do you. So on the form of self-care and everything else, I actually have started going back to getting my nails done. I haven't done them since the beginning of the pandemic, actually. I think I may have done it for Sam's wedding, maybe? I honestly can't remember. But I started doing them again, going to get them done. And actually, while it is Sunday afternoon, I'm actually going to head out and do that now. Because I don't want my stylist I don't want the nail artist I go to be backed up. He probably is. He's really that good. So I'm gonna go do that. And then throughout the day, I'll actually discuss the rest of my list with you. But before I go, outfit of the day. So let's see if this will focus. I swear the focusing issues on this thing. Killstar top. I know people have seen this before in one of my previous Halloween hunting decor videos. Leggings are actually from Amazon. Really stretchy. They're high-waisted. They're up to like here on me, so they won't roll down. Earrings are also from Killstar. So got those, the new ones. Makeup is all done via ColourPop, the Nightmare Before Christmas palette. Calling this look Desert Gloom. Kind of a good, nice corp goth look, in my personal opinion, or more casual goth look, instead of the very much dark colors. So probably rocking this for a bit. But with that, let's head off. Okay, so couldn't take you in when I was getting my nails done because they were incredibly busy and just kind of would have been awkward. But nail tech Kevin, if I can get this to focus, there we go. It's actually a purple. Told him to do whatever he wanted to do, so nice little purple called Eggplant. He's like, I know you like black, but you'll like this too. So he was right, I do. So nice little thing for me. Also picked up some stuff at Bath and Body Works as well as Sephora. I'll probably show some of the stuff I've gotten so far this weekend when I get home later tonight. Mostly because they're all skincare, hair care, self-care editions. So we'll go through all of that. So kind of following up with my 4 things I really want to focus on for this year. So like I said, doing more stuff for me. For example, I started learning foreign languages again. I actually used to study Japanese back when I was in college, and I got the opportunity to do so again. Currently using Rosetta Stone to do that. Kind of nice refresher. A little bit humbling, kind of remembering exactly how much I've lost, but at the same time, very nice to know how much I've retained. So doing things like that, making boundaries for how much time I spend doing something or whatnot, or just not pushing myself beyond my limit. So that's been very important. And let me tell you, getting past the guilt stage of not doing a whole bunch for a lot of other people has been a little difficult, but very, very much needed. So, learning. Why is this not wanting to focus on me? Okay. It's also sun's going down, folks, so we're gonna have to deal with the light as best as we can. Another thing that I really want to focus on, and it's probably the biggest difficulty I've got right now, which is the most difficult thing. Yeah, it's the most difficult thing I've got right now, which is trying to figure out YouTube when it comes to like scheduling and whatnot and recording videos. Because like I said, I had a bunch of ideas for videos that I wanted to do for December and everything else. But I unfortunately have this situation where I think I jinx myself, where I have every intention of filming this and that video and everything else, and then something happens where I can't fulfill it. So I'm going to stop making promises or comments on anything else on what videos I'm working on or what videos are coming up, because I will inadvertently end up jinxing myself and then they don't happen. So, do I have ideas for videos? Yes. Will I tell you them? No. And this is not because I don't want you folks to know, it's just shenanigans and things keep happening, and I don't want to do that. So I've got ideas for content. If you folks have ideas for videos that you would like me to do, feel free to let me know and I'll put them on my list. As for how often do I want to do videos, ideally it would have been, well, ideally it would be once a week. Now I know in a perfect world that'd be exactly what I do, but this is by no means a perfect world, and life gets in the way and other projects get in the way. For example, right now I'm doing a lot of creative writing and dance and a couple other stuff, yoga, stretching, things that take up a lot of time that I normally used to dedicate to my editing time, so that's not always feasible. So I will do my best. I make no promises. Wow, this is a muppy road. I'm sorry about that. So YouTube is one thing I'm trying to figure out for you folks. I've had people check in, be like, hey, what you doing? What's going on? And I feel bad for not getting content out to you guys. I really do. Because I want to. I just haven't had the time. Or I haven't had the creativity to pick up a camera and vlog. Mostly because, well, the beginning of the year, I did nothing. Past 2 weeks, I haven't done too terribly much. Except for one thing, which I will talk about when I get home. And it's something that I'm very, very happy about, very blessed, and so beyond thrilled to have back in my life. So I'll touch base with you that when I get home. Back home now, it's several hours later. Went to dinner, then got some necessities at the store, and then I went to the gym because I can't do it tomorrow. Normally I work out Monday through Friday, but since I'm going with my mom tomorrow to our hometown for a good portion of the day, I wasn't about to wake up at 5 a.m. on a day off just so that I could go to the gym and then everything else and so on and so forth and blah blah blah. Just not worth it. I'd rather sleep in at least a little bit. So got everything done today. But as I was saying in the car earlier on, one other thing that I intend on focusing on more this year, well, we're kind of sitting in the room where it's all going to happen. So this is my office. As you might notice, there are lovely mirrors here. And actually there's another mirror right over here. And the reason being, and I know I've shown this before on the channel, is that I am a metal gothic fusion dancer, which means it has its basis in Western style belly dance, with a bit more of improv dance and everything else. So one thing I've been wanting to get back into this year, and so far it's gone really well, is dance. I want to make time for dance again. And so far, it's been fantastic. It has been renewing for my soul, and it just feels so, so great. I have already done one winter choreography I did for Christmas and Yule. I am working on another one for a project for the Staging Collective. I am doing a choreography to Slept So Long. It is from the Queen of the Dam soundtrack. So for all you vampire lovers out there, there you go, I'm working on that. I have roughly 2 to 3 other choreographies that I have on the back burner right now. Plus I'm working on getting a new costume pretty soon, setting up a photo shoot, setting up video time with videographers to get some projects done. So I hit the ground running with it. My creativity is back. I love it. I love the fact that I just enjoy dancing again. I enjoy moving, I enjoy dancing, I enjoy all of it. And I have done quite a bit of it, I have done quite a bit of it already in this room, just kind of drilling and everything else. So that's the whole point of these mirrors right here, is to figure out how to choreograph and how to move and do whatever, really. Dance has been a part of my life for several years now. It's where I express my ups, my downs, my frustrations, my wins, my losses, my darker side, things like that. So that's actually where the name Nyx Namor came from. Nyx Namor is actually my performance name, my stage name, and it just kind of stuck. I didn't think any of this was going to be a possibility last year, and the reason being is I suffered from burnout, like wholeheartedly, flat out, could not move to save my life. I don't hide the fact that I see a therapist. I started seeing one when did I start seeing one? I started seeing one July of 2020. And so I've continued that. But my last therapy appointment, I was actually describing the concept of burnout to my therapist and what it was. And I wanted to move, but for the life of me, I couldn't. I couldn't do it. I couldn't listen to something and choreograph in my head, which is what I used to be able to do. So being able to move and actually express myself through body movements and everything else and musicality, that's something I didn't expect to be able to do again anytime soon. But here I am. I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you're suffering from burnout from your passion project, I feel you. I've been there. Oh gods, have I been there. But don't think that it's the end for you when it comes to that. And if you're an artist and you're trying to figure out how to do your art, do your passion and everything else, when it comes to everything else you have to do in your life, I started trying to do a couple of small things that I think kind of helped in at least a little bit. And that's, don't think you have to do everything in one large go. Spend 5 minutes doing something related to your art, 5-10 minutes, whatever, and that will help. It will. I used to, while I couldn't for the life of me force myself to drill, which when I say drill, I mean practice certain movements and everything else. Well, I was getting ready for work, or ready for the day or whatnot, or even ready for bed, changing pajamas and anything or whatnot. I'd have music playing and I'd just dance to it. Quick little thing, 3 minutes, that's it. And that's all I did. Excuse me. But I think it did help. Now, did it get me fully out of burnout? No. There's a lot of the things that worked to get me out of burnout. But it did kind of keep the embers going in the fire. I think that's the best analogy I can think of. So the fire didn't fully go out because I was still keeping it fed just enough. So, if you can, dedicate at least a little bit of time, but don't beat yourself up if you can't. We're only human, right? And I will say, another thing I do like about this space that I didn't anticipate actually doing at all, this was kind of a fluke, because it actually makes me want to dance more here, is the fact that I do have RGB lights now. Let's see if it'll work. Got several different colors that I can do, and it's just so much fun. But it definitely makes things very moody, helps me get into the creative mindset. Unfortunately, it also affects the RGB that is on my computer, so no. Here we go. All right, so I'm gonna be messing with that for a little bit. But in any case, just little fun things. Another way to kind of spice things up a little bit when it comes to my art form is, well, I like it pretty in here, okay? And that helps. A little bit helps. I also now have a ring light, so that should help in future videos as well. Haven't opened it yet. I got it for Christmas, so that will be coming at some point soon. So, I don't know. Probably the first thing I do with this is probably going to be a makeup video. Just gotta figure out which one first. Alright, and the final thing on my list of things that I want to focus on for this year, and it's a bit of a frivolous one, in all honesty. I want more tattoos. I got this right before my honeymoon, back in 2019. So right before the pandemic. This is supposed to get colored in. It hasn't, and now I keep wondering if I'm going to or not. So, I don't know. Part of me wants to get this colored in and then finish up with a sleeve. I've got some ideas what I do. I also have an idea of what I want to start doing over here. Didn't really ever think I'd be I didn't think I'd ever really be a person who would love a bunch of tattoos. And I know that's something that probably breaks my mother's heart. I'm sorry, Mom, if you're watching this. And I know she probably is because she watches my videos. But I love it. I don't know. I don't know if it's something that has to do with the fact that my dad has like 13 tattoos. He's a former Marine. Not an ex-Marine, former Marine. So I just grew up getting used to them. And so many artists that I follow also are covered in their own artwork and everything. So I don't know. I just like it. So I'll probably continue the spooky Nightmare Before Christmas-esque on this arm. This one I'm still working on. I've got some vague ideas, but I won't disclose those here yet. So we'll see what happens with that. Before I go, I did mention earlier in the video that I guess it's kind of like, I guess in a way, I technically have 5 things I'm focusing on, not 4. So my 5th one, which is kind of goes into my self-care situation, is to pay more attention to my skin and my hair. So I will be right back. Okay, back now. So over the past 2 days, went to both Ulta and Sephora to pick up some items, mostly for my skin and my hair. And skin, I mean mostly on face, as well as some of my body. So here's the thing. I don't know if I've ever discussed this before, but I have eczema. And the past few months, has been the worst it has been. It's finally under control now, but I use at least three, yeah, right now 3 different ointments and creams to help keep the eczema at bay. But oh boy, has it been bad. Side note, I also have seasonal allergies and asthma, so the trifecta when it comes to all 3. Doctor told me when I was younger that if you have allergies and asthma, you probably have eczema. If you have allergies and eczema, you probably have asthma. So it's, if you have 2, you're going to have probably the 3rd, more than likely. More than likely. Doesn't always work. But that's what happened with me. I have all 3. Yay. So I have to be very insanely careful what I use for skincare, because I don't know what's going to possibly trigger for me. So what I have to use more often than not are since I can't say that word, what I have to use are products that are approved by dermatologists. And more often than not, that's CeraVe. So stop by Ulta. I already used CeraVe's cleanser and eye cream, but they came out with a couple different things recently. And so I decided to give them a shot. So we have the Skin Renewing Vitamin Serum. Use this in the mornings is it just the mornings? So kind of use this in the morning after you cleanse and everything else. At least that's going to be my goal so far. I've only used this once so far today, so I'm going to see how these work out for me. Also, excuse me, also the Skin Renewing Nightly Exfoliating Treatment. It's kind of like an exfoliator, but it's also a moisturizer. It's so strange. I'm trying to figure out how this is supposed to work, because it says to apply to the face, apply evenly to the face nightly. Can be used alone or followed by a moisturizer. So I used it last night. Woke up, my face was fine. My face was actually very moisturized when I woke up this morning, so hopefully that works. And I saw this and I'm going to give it a shot. We're going to see. I haven't used a toner in a while, but I want to start using a toner at night after I remove my makeup. Not in the morning, only at night. And that's The Ordinary. I think this is the glycolic acid 7% toning solution. So a little bit of this and see how that goes. And see how my skin reacts to that. Hopefully it should be fine. I have always kind of tried to be very careful in the past anyway with my skincare and everything. But with me now getting into my 30s and of course sun damage, I was a lifeguard when I was a teenager. I was always out and about. It's just, I should probably be more careful and just make sure that everything is good, moisturized, healthy, and everything else. So might as well stick to it for the new year. Oh, and did pick up this for body, which is the CeraVe Moisturizing Cream. So whenever I'm not using eczema ointments, you have eczema, I feel for you. I do. I hate it. Okay, so that's for the skin. Now for the hair. So my hair, I wash it once a week, preferably. Now, because I have eczema, I also have eczema on my scalp. So it's either I have to have scalp health or I have to have hair health. So I talked to my dermatologist about this, and he prescribed me some special shampoo. And I've used this before, and my previous dermatologist told me to use it a different way. So my new dermatologist, and I actually like this way better, told me before I even get into the shower, I use it and I just coat my scalp in it with it, or at least my roots, and I just let it set for 15 minutes. And then I get in the shower, rinse it off, and then continue on with my entire routine. So I've used it before, and I'm kind of switching up a couple different things right now, but the Curlsmith scalp recipe, So this is Wash and Scrub Detox Probiotic. I know technically I should be using scent-free and everything else when it comes to my hair care. But because I do have that dermatology based shampoo, then I use this. I consider this more for kind of like my roots more than anything else, and a little bit of my hair, not so much my scalp, even though it does say wash and scrub detox probiotic technically for your scalp. I just don't rub this all over my scalp. So I've used this before. It actually smells pretty nice. It does. Really does kind of help with a lot of my roots and oiliness and everything, because my roots will get oily, but my hair is bone dry. Always bone dry. So I am of mixed heritage. I'm German, Irish, English, Polish, and African American. So my father has the hair texture and everything else. And whenever he has since had his head shaved since I was 6 years old, I think. But whenever he did have hair, it was he could have a fro. It was just a looser curl pattern, so it didn't actually stay. But it was extremely curly. I did not get that. I did not get the texture, but I have the dryness. So, I've been trying to deal with that. So, what I've got now are, I have a good conditioner already from Curlsmith, but for a specialty piece, for a special days, I'm doing the Double Cream Deep Quencher. I'm going to try this. I haven't done this yet. So I'm going to try this and see how this works as kind of a deep conditioner, because I technically have wavy hair and loose curls. And it's kind of annoying because the front, like this is actually 4 days since I've washed my hair, so the curls are out at this point. But the front half of my head are loose curls. The back half of my head is wavy, but it's kind of like those waves that you see on the ocean on a somewhat calm day. They're kind of there. So that's what I have. Front of my head will just do loose ringlets. I wish it was all uniform, but wavy, curly problems, right? And then I also have these two. So we've got the Hydro Style Flexi Jelly and the Curl Conditioning Oil and Cream. But I'll experiment at least a little bit and see what happens there. So here's to hoping, right? That's going to be my 5th focus so far for the year is, like I said, skin and hair care. And hopefully in a few months, I'll actually know exactly what I'm doing and have it all figured out, because I keep changing my entire setup for both of those. But I'd like to stick to one and find something and stick to it, and that be it. These are just goals. So what are your goals for 2022? What is it that you want to do? What is it that you would like to kind of focus on this year or succeed at? Is it to kind of focus more on yoga, or is it to go outside more or things like that? So what is it you're trying to focus on? I know this video has been kind of a little bit all over the place. I know I have a tendency to ramble, sorry about that. But if you got all the way through it, I appreciate it. If you're here to the very end, I really appreciate you. But my intention is to be more consistent when it comes to YouTube, especially videos and everything else, because I do miss you guys. I do miss communicating with you guys. I do appreciate it. When you guys leave comments and you guys poke me and everything else, I do appreciate that quite a bit. So if you'd like to stick around for future content, like I said, I do have plans, but I'm not going to disclose those plans because then I jinx myself, as I've said before. But I do have stuff in the pipeline that I am working on. So if you'd like to stick around, feel free to subscribe, leave a like on this video, and a comment. I do read every single one, even if I can't respond to all of them. I do read every single one of them, and I do sincerely appreciate it. So, with that, thanks so much, and I will see you in the next one. Happy hauntings!